Hello, welcome. I'm Wentworth Miller, Leews founder, instructor. For years I issued the following challenge to Harvard, my alma mater Yale, to all of America's over 200 law schools. Give me 5 bottom-of-the-class students to train in the comprehensive Leews exam writing preparation science, no charge. I'll do it even 2 weeks before exams. And I bet money my students would perform better than any 5 at the top of the class. I've given over 1,000 live one-day programs. There are over 125,000 Leews grads, hundreds from Harvard. Numerous law professors took Leews as students. From the very first live program, New York City, fall 1981, students have had the option of leaving at the first break, 1.5 hours into the program. Just return the manual, receive a full tuition refund, no questions asked. During 35 years giving live programs, I can't recall more than 20 to 30 students leaving. Purchasers of the equally, if not more effective, audio version of Leews could return the program after 2 weeks for a full refund. Again, very few takers. At any time during this video or afterward, you can sample a segment of Leews free. Click on the free segment button. Oh, and no takers for my bottom 5 versus top 5 law school bet. Law schools have much to lose in taking on the practicing lawyer mindset and the proven effective systems of preparation and exam taking Leews instructs. Here's a brief glimpse into why I'm sure I would have won the bet every time. You've heard that law school is different, harder. Despite best efforts, 85% and more of law students don't get A's. At Harvard, Yale, Stanford, not a single A or A equivalent first term or second term. The smartest, hardest working students are confused by the standard law school exam, a series of what are called essay hypotheticals or hypos. Each hypo is a crazy quilt of facts. Time pressure is normally severe. The task, no surprise, is to identify and analyze legal issues, as might a practicing lawyer versed in the course subject matter. The question to ask of any aide claiming to help law students succeed, including Leews, is this: is it truly effective and why? And there is a simple test to apply. To advice from professors, law school support staff, and fellow students, to online advice of the nature, I got A's, this is what I did, you should do this, to law school success books, Planet Law School, which touts Leews, getting to maybe. Does the advice in any way challenge current instruction at all of America's over 200 law schools, namely Socratic case method? What you've perhaps seen in such movies as Paper Chase, Legally Blonde. Students sit nervously in classes of up to 100 and more. Professor calls on someone to provide facts, issue, holding, rule, rationale of cases assigned to be briefed. Students are sometimes required to stand when responding. Naturally, students obsess over briefing cases lest they be called on in class. Problem is, Socratic case method does a poor job transitioning academic thinker learners, most entering law students, to something approaching how a practicing lawyer thinks, how a practicing lawyer armed with Leews would approach and handle a law exam. That law school teaching largely fails in the critical mission of training the practicing lawyer mind, an omission Leews uniquely, far better than any other instruction, corrects and takes advantage of, is not just my view. It's the view of all in the profession outside law school. It's the view of lawyers who have to train graduates of top law schools how to think and function as lawyers. If advice on preparing for and taking law exams does not address and challenge law school teaching, it cannot be more than modestly helpful. The following offers insight into why Leews is effective to the point professors say to some Leews grads, I can't post your grade. It's too far above the class average. It comes courtesy of one of many thousands of law students I've interacted with. By the way, for a history of law school, the problem with law school teaching, how and why Leews came to be, read the free download book at this site, Gaming Emperor Law School. The student I talked to, same as most law students, got straight A's in college, University of Georgia. First term, UGA Law, she got all B's. Took Leews, then got all A's. She's quoted at this site. There are nearly 1,000 quotes with names and school. She offered a rare instructive insight into a law professor's perspective and expectation. Her professor taught torts, a required first-year subject in all law schools. He said, "If 100 points are possible on my exam, I expect scores in the range of 25 to 35. Digest that for a moment. Following a semester of Socratic case method instruction, everyone is expected to fail the final exam. Not just fail, but fail badly. Exams are graded on a curve. Some few have to get A's. 35, 40 points out of 100 on a law school exam typically gets an A. The few students who get A's in law school are typically thought of as brilliant. However, 40 points out of 100 is hardly a genius, merely less incompetent than classmates. The very good news in law school is that the exam performance bar is crazy low. You don't have to become great at taking exams, merely competent. Chris Tang, University of Texas, quoted on the homepage, son of Vietnamese immigrants, mediocre LSAT, did the same program available here before starting law school. Finished Grand Chancellor, honorific title given the UT Law graduate with the highest GPA. Chris finished with a 4.13. Chris said, in an exam where 50 points were possible, class average was 12. Chris scored 37. If posted, his score would have embarrassed classmates. Closing, an able lawyer exploits weakness in an opponent's case. I invite you, as have tens of thousands of law students before you, to take advantage of glaring, persistent weakness in law school teaching. Instruction you'll receive here is the best version of Leews. It's 9 or so hours long and interactive. You have to do it in segments. Follow-up practice is imperative. However, right away you'll avoid wasted motion. You'll brief cases in no more than 2 to 4 lines, take far fewer class notes, get much more out of class discussion. There'll be nothing to fear if called on. You'll have no difficulty outperforming most classmates on exams. Not because you're smarter or work harder, but because they will remain relatively clueless playing the law school game, especially